to Munich! We are going on a bike tour today with Radius Tours. They are located right in the main station here in Munich. It's going to last 3 hours and we're going to get an overview of the city. Cycling is an excellent way to explore Munich. You can rent a bike on your own or you can take a tour to see all the top sites for about $30 US. Our guide Tim was great and he gave us a lot of information about the history of the city, and we saw most of the top attractions in a very short amount of time. This is the royal residence and it is now a museum. And King Ludwig I was the first king of Bavaria. And fun fact, he was also the one that started Oktoberfest. It started out as a gift to his wife where they had horse races and a big party, and they've been celebrating it ever since. So you gotta come to this plaza right here. So just to show you how big this residence is, this is one of 10 inner plazas within the palace. So it's pretty impressive. And that statue there is the very first Duke of Munich. Right by the royal residence here is all of Germany's most expensive shopping street. You can see Rolex, you can see Prada, everything right along there. I will not be shopping there today.
Here's a little fun fact. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the 1972 version, was filmed in and around Munich and Bavaria here. And there's actually one scene that takes place right along that corridor right there. Charlie running because he won the golden ticket.
We're cycling through the nice, quaint community of Schwaben. Behind me is the Chinese temple. It looks like a Chinese pagoda, obviously. And this here is the second largest beer garden in the world. We are in Munich, so naturally the first is also here in Munich. This is located in the English Garden, and what a great place to hang out. Chestnut trees cause a nice shady area. And once again, it's just really pleasant place to hang out. People in Munich really know how to live their life well.
So how the beer garden was born was actually they used to brew the beer underground, and then they put white gravel down to reflect the sun, as well as chestnut trees because of their low root system, so it wouldn't go down into the ground. And then they threw up a whole bunch of tables and chairs, and ta-da, the beer garden was born. Now they used to serve pretzels and radishes. Those were the only two food that you could get here, and today you can still bring your own food here as long as you buy the beer here. Pretty cool.
So we're on a tour of English Garden, and this is the largest garden in continental Europe. It's massive, and there's all kinds of things here. There's cycling, there's football, and then of course there's some slacklining, and don't forget the nude area. Yes, you can hang out here in the park and go all out in your birthday suit. This park is modeled after an English garden, so everything that you see is man-made. The ponds and the rivers, the waterfalls, every tree was hand-planted to replicate an English garden. And it's just a really serene place to hang out. I could spend all afternoon here. Very popular here in Munich, but a word to the wise. I would only go in if you have a lot of experience. These guys look like they know what they're doing. So this is the Ice River, and it was formed by diverting the main river to clean up all of the rivers here in the park. And up until 2010, it was illegal to surf in these waters. They did it anyway. They've been doing it since 1972. But in 2010, it became legal after they passed the common sense law. If you hurt yourself when you're surfing, well, it's your fault. Well, you cannot come to Munich without coming to Mariaplatz. This is the main square of the city. You have the old town hall, you have the new town hall, and you have the Virgin Mary. And the Virgin Mary marks the center of the city exactly. The Glockenspiel is an ornate clock in the new town hall, and it is world famous. Figurines representing stories from Munich's history perform 3 times a day for the crowds of tourists gathering in the square. Fun little fact, in German, Munich is pronounced München, and that's because it was founded by monks, and München means monk. Taking a bike tour is a really excellent way to see Munich. It's really easy to get around. The downtown core is pretty small, and we're seeing a lot in a very short amount of time. And there's a lot of cyclists out, so it's a very pleasant ride. There's lots of cycling trails and bike paths, so you don't really have to worry too much about traffic. Odeonplatz is another square worth visiting. It's surrounded by the Feldern Hall, a monument dedicated to the Bavarian army by King Ludwig I. There's the massive residence on one side, and the beautiful Theatine Church was built to give thanks for the birth of Prince Max Emanuel in 1662. If you go to an alley just outside the square, you will notice golden cobblestones. This square played a large role in Hitler's Third Reich, and people were forced to give the Nazi salute whenever they walked by a plaque hanging on a wall across the street. To avoid this, many people took a shortcut through this alleyway. The cobblestones pay tribute to those who paid the ultimate price by defying Hitler's Third Reich. The nearby documentation center sits on a historical site where visitors are informed of the crimes of the Nazi dictatorship. It stands on former Nazi headquarters that are now either empty or they're demolished. You could spend days exploring all the museums here in Munich. There are 126 of them. One of the best ways to get around Munich is using the public transit.
Definitely. It goes everywhere and it's really economical. All right, we're heading up to the Olympia Tower, which is supposed to be one of the most beautiful views here in Munich.
Well, it's definitely worth coming out to Olympic Village and going up the Olympia Tower. It's a great view. It's the highest viewpoint in all of Munich, and you can even see the Alps from here.
Olympic Park is a pretty cool place to check out. Not only can you go up the Olympic Tower and check out the 360-degree view of all of Munich, but it has a nice little park you can walk through, little lakes and waterways that you can take advantage of, as well as you're quite close to the BMW Museum, so if you're into cars, you can go over there and check that out. Or even if you just want to walk into the stadium and see where it all took place, you can do that too. And this all took place at the home of the 1972 Olympics here in Munich.
Frauenchurch is one of the places that you must visit, but unfortunately for us, it's under construction. It looks like you can't even go in. It's just all boarded up. But it's one of the huge, great churches of Europe.
Wow, look at how big this is.
So this is a fun fact. Right behind me was Michael Jackson's favorite hotel in the city. He had such dedicated fans that they commandeered a monument to the Renaissance composer Orlando de la Sas and covered it with tributes to the King of Pop. If you like quirky attractions, this is a must-stop. If you have one beer here in Munich, you have to make sure that you have it at the world-famous Hofbrauhaus.
Make sure you come into Hofbrauhaus for a beer and some real Bavarian entertainment.
It's way bigger in here than I expected. It's huge! And that was 24 hours in Munich. If you enjoy our videos, you'll want to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get updates when a new show is posted. We share stories from around the world each week. Where will you be going next?
Been waiting for this all day.